I think it's time to demand the respect that you deserve. How do you do that?
Self-respect. You have to respect yourself. Number one key is like, that is how you're portraying yourself to other people. They're going to notice that. So are you respecting yourself?
Absolutely. And what does that look like, right? On a daily basis, what does respecting yourself look like?
Well, I think number one, not putting yourself down, right? Mindset is everything. If you internally are putting yourself down, you're never going to present yourself to other people in that manner.
Like strong and confident.
Exactly. That confidence needs to almost like
Exude.
be spilling out of you. Exactly. Perfect word.
So basically to piggyback off of your last sentence, which is that body language, right? Are you standing up tall? Are you making eye contact?
Yeah.
I think it's huge. If you're walking into a room and you're going, hey, I was hoping I can ask you a question. Well, guess what? You don't,
Nope.
you're not demanding that people pay attention to you. You're not demanding that respect versus if you walk in and you go, hey,
Got a sec.
you got a minute?
Exactly.
I got to talk to you.
Right.
At that point,
Exactly.
it's like,
Ooh.
whoa, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
It triggers that, ooh, I got to pay attention versus, oh, can I ask you a question? They're like, you know what?
I'm busy
this
right
really
now.
isn't a good
Or
time.
they
Can
don't
you come
even
back?
hear you because
Yeah.
they're in their own world or they're doing something else.
Absolutely.
You have to be
Yes.
able to create that vocal sharpness as well. Like you deserve their time.
Right.
It's not that you're asking and you're hoping.
Right.
You deserve their time and therefore you're voicing that.
You're not an inconvenience to them. Right? Because I think a lot of people walk into a situation, especially maybe not having that idea that I am somebody that needs to be respected.
Deserve space.
Exactly. You're walking into a situation and you're exhibiting that I'm not important. I don't need the time of day.
And it's not that somebody's going to then intentionally ignore you, but you're not presenting that urgency. You're not creating that image of the fact that you are important. I'm not going to give you importance. You have to tell me that you're
Exactly.
important. I'm not
Right.
going to just willingly
So-
offer that up.
So you need to believe that about yourself, right? And the other part is, again, that assertiveness. How are you walking into a situation? Are you speaking in a tone that kind of not like yelling or
Right, sure.
like loud, right? But are you confident in the way that you're speaking? Is your volume sort of exhibiting the fact that you are important and what I'm about to say is important,
Right.
right?
And you're not scared to sort of get into someone's space, right? I'm not standing 20 feet away and I'm going, hey, do you have a second? I'm walking up to you right away and I'm staring at your face. I'm looking inside your eyes and I'm going, hey,
Yeah.
got a minute?
You can't really avoid that. I mean, I guess you can, but there's a less of a chance, right?
Absolutely. And it also says, hey, this is urgent. This is important to me. Therefore, it needs to be important to you.
Exactly.
We
Yes.
teach people how to respect us. It's not given. It's unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
wish that there was
Yeah.
universal respect for everybody, but it's not how it works. For whatever reason, we respond to people with the energy that they serve.
Exactly. Yeah. And consistency is key. You have to be able to walk in, like moving forward, walking into almost all situations that way, right? Because if one time you practice it and you're just like, you know, confident and you're like, okay. And then the next you're just like, hey, do you have a second? They're going to be like, what is going on? That's going to throw them off and they're not going to pay attention to you as much because it's just not consistent in their minds. You are not consistent. Why would they give you the time of day?
But also, if you don't think that you're important, why should I think that you're
Exactly.
important? If you don't think you're capable, why would I think you're capable? You are the best judge of yourself. So if you don't assign those characteristics to yourself by yourself, why would I think that you are those things if you don't even think you are those things? So
Exactly.
basically, you have to tell me who you are. And more often than not, I'm going to believe that, right? But how else do you tell somebody what respect you need? To answer my own question,
Yeah.
is you respect others in that fashion, right? If
Yes,
somebody comes to you and requires your time, you pause what you're doing and you go, yeah, what's going on, right? So you offer them that. You don't just expect it. I deserve it, but then you don't relay that same message to others. Nope.
No.
You teach others based on how you treat them as well. So
Right.
not only with how you want it, but how do you handle certain situations? How do you listen to others when they're talking to you? Do you repeat back what they've said to let them know,
you're paying attention.
I'm paying attention. I heard what your main message is. Or do you ask clarifying questions? Do you say, hey, okay, so what is it? So is this what you're looking for, or is this what you're looking for?
Did you get what you needed from this conversation?
Following through with promises that you've made.
Absolutely.
Because if you're not reliable, don't expect the same thing from me, because okay, 1, 2, okay, happens to everybody.
Yeah.
But if constantly I'm asking you something, you agree to it and then don't follow through, I'm going to lose respect for you.
Back to that consistency piece, right?
So
that other person needs to be consistent as well.
If you expect something from me, you better put up what you're laying down or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's part of that sort of self-growth too. You know, do you have that awareness? How are you presenting yourself to other people? You know, and you know what? Sometimes people aren't gonna necessarily treat you the right way, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't treat
step down to, or to their level, stoop down to their level.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Part of that personal growth is like, you don't have to always match somebody's
poor choices.
Exactly. You don't have to do that.
And it's realizing, like, if you're not getting the respect that you deserve, if you're not getting that right now, 1 is, are you presenting yourself that way? But 2 is, are you really treating other people that way? Because that's a good place to start, is like, I'm going to treat those the way that I want to be treated. And if you're already doing that, then you have to go back to the others. The body language. Is it your tone of voice? Is it the way that you enter a room? Is it all of those things truly line up? And if you can do them, you practice one at a time. And if you can do them all together, people are going to see you differently. They're going to offer that respect. They're going to think twice before dismissing you.
Absolutely.
And if that's your experience, and you don't want to feel that way anymore, there are things that you can do that are really that. I mean, worst case scenario, you're just around a bunch of jerks.
Exactly. But again, you don't have to be a jerk with them.
Sure. Right? And you don't have to surround yourself with them.
You can remove yourself.
If let's say you've tried all those things and people are still treating you like the way that you really can't stand being treated, they're maybe calling you names, whatever, not paying attention to you, not validating you, and you've tried all the things, then you have to be able to say, you know what, this just isn't my group of people. This isn't the best workplace for me. This isn't the environment I want to be a part of anymore.
Right.
And at some point you have to leave.
Yeah. That's self-respect.
Right.
Back to the number
exactly.
one.
Like, I'm only going to put up with so much. I'm going to do all I can within my capacity, my capabilities. And if it's not working, you have to be able to sever the tie.
Exactly. Because the other key thing is surrounding yourself with people that also kind of have a similar mindset, right? Like, you want to have a mutual respect. Like, again, you don't have to match people's energy exactly, but you want to have an environment where you could thrive in that way. Sometimes the environment just isn't it.
Right. Exactly.
So you have to choose something different.
And I think one of my favorite ones is, and takes a lot of work. This is the one that's not going to be like instant. You're not just going to be like, okay, I'm going to stand tall and I'm going to make all the eye contact tomorrow and I'm going to just do it. Right.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. The one that's a little bit more difficult is when something happens that's out of your control that you're not prepared for. It's so important to stay calm under pressure, because that is true confidence.
Yes.
It's that trust that you have within yourself that says, I don't care what's happening around me. There could be fires, chaos, blizzards. It doesn't matter. I trust myself to be able to handle it, survive it, solve it, move past it, whatever. But it's really when things are out of your control, you have to still be able to say, I trust myself no matter what is happening. And that is when you truly embody confidence, self-respect, and that ability to just survive. And that is what's alluring to people. That is when somebody's going to say, like, damn, I respect that chick because she can handle anything.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that then maybe even triggers them to make a change, right? Like, how do they, like, you're modeling that behavior to somebody, right? So that's equally as important. You're setting the tone. You're coming up with the sort of the atmosphere that you want to be in, versus like kind of allowing it to just play out on its own.
Right. You're controlling the situation. The situation is not controlling you. And that is something that takes a little bit of practice because if you're typically an anxious person, it's going to be a lot harder to really tap into that. But with enough practice, you will be able to embody that. That will become you. You will become that person that you want to so badly.
Right. So demand that respect and trust me, you will get it.